Please join me in welcoming Goshen College alum and honorary graduate, Carrie Newcomer.
Oh, it's hard to speak, let alone sing. I believe there are some debts that we can never repay. And I believe there are some words that we can never unsay. And I don't know a single soul who did get lost along the way. And I believe in socks and gloves knit out of soft gray wool, and that there's a place in heaven for those who teach in public schools. All right. And I know I get some things right, but mostly I'm a fool. I believe in a good strong cup of ginger tea, and that all these shoots and roots will become a tree. All I know is I can't help but see all of this as so very holy. And I believe in jars of jelly put up by careful hands. And I believe most folks are doing just about the best they can. And I know there are some things that I will never understand. I believe there's healing in the sound of your voice, and that a summer tomato is a cause to rejoice, and that following a song was never really a choice, never really. I believe in a good long letter written on real paper and with real pen. I believe in the ones I love and know I'll never see again. I believe in the kindness of strangers and the comfort of old friends. And when I close my eyes to sleep at night, then it's good to say amen. And I believe that life's comprised of smiles and sniffles and tears. And in an old coat that still has another good year. And I know that I get scared sometimes, but all I need is here. I believe in a good strong cup of ginger tea, and that all these shoots and roots will become a tree. All I know is I can't help but see all of this as so very holy. I believe. I believe. I believe. I believe. Good morning, Good afternoon. It's a pleasure and an honor to be a part of the graduation ceremony of the Goshen College class of 2016. Thank you, President Jim Brenneman and the selection committee, for the opportunity to speak with you today. As a Goshen College alumna myself, it's been good to have a chance to reflect upon my own time here on campus and the powerful ways that it changed me, which included experiencing a wider and more diverse world during my student service term, how to fire raku pottery, traveling with a theater troupe, and how to clean 10 gallons of mashed potatoes off the cafeteria kitchen wall when I pushed the wrong button on the industrial mixer. I admit I was a little surprised when I received the invitation to speak with you today. My life work as a traveling musician, songwriter of hard to categorize spiritual but not religious music didn't show up on the chalkboard as one of the top 10 professions on junior high school career day. And it wasn't something that seemed likely to lead me here to you today. And so because my vocational path has been a little unusual, the question I've been asking myself in preparation for today is, what can I offer to a room full of new graduates who are heading out in so many different directions? And what is it about my own story that might be of use or service to you? Full disclosure, I can't even count the number of performances and public speaking events I've done in the past 30 years, but this is my first commencement address. I've written hundreds of songs and poems. But I've never written a commencement address. So what did I do? Well, I did what most of us do when we're feeling a little at a loss or unsure about a new task. I Googled it. How to write an effective commencement speech? There were all these sites, and they outlined inspirational topics with important messages for new graduates, like following your dreams and don't be afraid to fail and take risk and embrace change. There were Amazon links to whole books on commencement speaking. There were PDFs of brilliant speeches by famous people like John F. Kennedy and Steve Jobs and Maya Angelou and the Dalai Lama. And I clicked around for a while, but pretty quickly, I stopped. I stopped because I realized I didn't want to talk to you about big concept or an abstract idea. I wanted to focus on small things, human-size ideas that have made a real difference in my life and work, that may be of use to you as well. So here it is, 3 things that have become important practices and practical guides. Be true, be kind, and pay attention. These 3 things do overlap a little bit, but I will start with be true. So what do I mean when I say be true? Well, I believe we're all born with affinities, things that we lean into, that we love just because we do. 2 children are born into the same family and they're night and day. How many people here have a sibling? Siblings out there? Yes. And they're just like you. Any parent will tell you that each child is their own little person from the moment they are born. I first encountered this idea in Parker J. Palmer's beautiful book, Let Your Life Speak, Listening to the Voice of Vocation, which I recommend for anyone, but particularly you at this point in your life. There are activities, think about it, that have always made you lose track of time. Can you remember the things that you loved to do as a child? For some folks, that was the elegance of mathematics. For others, it was practicing free throws or Legos or team sports. For some of us, it was reading everything we could get our hands on about bugs or horses or stars. For some of us, it was putting Band-Aids on our dolls, and for some, doing dental work on our bears. Think about it. Doesn't it make you happy just to remember those things? When I was a kid, my favorite game was a game called Making Something. What are you doing, Carrie? Making something. I was making little songs and stories, drawing pictures and making things out of paper and glue, leftover fabric and clay. And all these years later, I'm still so happy when I'm making something, a song, a story,
biscuits for my dog, making something, creating something new. There's a clue in these things we naturally love, and sometimes it's pretty direct. My older sister played school practically every day of her young life, and she's been one of the most passionate educators I've known. But sometimes the correlation is poetic. My friend Chris once told me that he really, really loved his job, but his work had no relationship to what he liked to do when he was a kid. I asked him what he loved to do as a kid, and he described how his family had this back 40 section of woods behind their house, and he would spend every day, all summer, creating these winding paths through the woods. He'd make little signs so people wouldn't lose their way. He even created like little rest stops so a traveler could rest and think. And I said, Chris, you're a pastor and a vocation reflection counselor. And I said, you're still helping people find their way through the woods. And he goes, I guess so. You see, we can learn to do a lot of things well. We are humans with opposable thumbs. We can do a lot of things well. But the closer we get to what we love by nature, when we operate from our truest heart, the more potent our work and our lives become. But being true is not a destination you arrive at and stop. Being true is an unfolding process. You keep checking in with your heart to see if your inner life is in harmony with your outer circumstances. I know, you're thinking, but how does this work and what does the process look like? Well, for me, it looked like my own father, a man of deep integrity who chose to stay true many times in the course of his career and life as an educator, sometimes at personal and professional cost. He could not say what he did not believe. He would not stay silent if the truth needed to be spoken. He could not be someone he was not. My father's example inspired me to not become another singer-songwriter, even a good one, but instead to become the only Carrie Newcomer, and the truest Carrie Newcomer I knew how to be. One of my own being true stories happened to me when I was about your age. I didn't go to college for music. No, I think when I began college, I wasn't ready to risk what I loved the most. I think for some of us, we have to get ready to risk what we love the most, because if it doesn't work out, it's going to mean something. So I got a fallback degree, work that I really enjoyed a lot, visual art. Okay, that's telling you something about me, that my safe and secure fallback plan was visual art. Safe and secure visual art, check. Folk singing, check. We're just lining them up there. Eventually, I got a teacher's license so I could teach visual art, but all through school, I was writing songs, and even though I was pretty shy, I began to play music in restaurants, in coffee houses, in bars, in bowling alleys. I played everywhere, weddings, bar mitzvahs, grocery store openings. I think I played a few garage sales. And when I graduated from college, music was calling me. Songwriting was for me what Parker Palmer calls the thing I could not do. I had no idea what it would look like. I just knew I had to follow. I had to be true. And after all this time, I'm still following. I'm still checking in with my truest heart, listening closely to what it has to say. I'm still refining my life and work because of what my true heart tells me. You have a true heart and a true guide. Breathe deep. Take time to listen. Your true heart can be trusted. Keep asking, how do I bring more of who I am and what I really love into my daily life? On the way to finding and honoring your truest self, you can be guided by another simple but important practice: be kind. In your life after Goshen College, you will decide not just what you want to do in the world, but who you want to be. You will do many things and probably work a variety of jobs. But in every circumstance, you will choose the kind of spirit you will bring to your life and your work. We talk a lot about love. We talk about love in songs, in movies, in spiritual community. And love. Love is big. It's so wide. It's so big. Sometimes it's hard to get your arms around the concept of love. But kindness is love in human size. Kindness is the country cousin to love. It brings soup when you're sick and hangs out in the kitchen washing dishes when nobody asked it to. It opens the door when your hands are full. It stops everything to listen to your story. It is not flashy or fancy or likely to make the front page. It's a small practice and so humble it's easy to forget how profoundly powerful it is. Kindness lightens and softens our days. It reframes the world and expresses love on human scale. Now, this does not mean I've always worked and lived in situations of goodness and light. I've had to learn how to navigate in a tough business, particularly for women. But I made a choice about the kind of spirit that would ground my life and work. Greg Ellison wrote, "I can't change the world, but I can change what's 3 feet around me." Yeah, think about that. No, I can't change the world, the whole world, but I can make a profound difference by choosing what I bring into my daily sphere of influence. I fell in love with my husband, Robert, for many reasons. He's a brilliant man. He's creative and honest and funny and passionate about his work and activism. And he's the most kind-hearted man I've ever met. He's an entertainment lawyer. And if there was ever a profession that encouraged being the tough guy, well, that would be law. But Robert's approach is fair and respectful. He understands that his clients are sometimes in confusing and anxiety-ridden situations. He's good at what he does, and he gets to yes, but without the hard edge. And generally, everyone feels better at the end of the process. He honors his own kind heart, and in doing that, he shifts something in every interaction. Think back. Remember some small act of kindness extended to you, a kindness that changed everything, a kindness that you remember to this very day. When I was a little girl, I went to visit my grandmother, Newcomer. Her yard looked like the Garden of Eden. She had planted flowers all around her front porch, and I love my grandmother. I decided to pick her a bouquet. I remember my mother's horrified face as I held out that bouquet of flowers, bulbs and all. My grandmother did not skip a beat. She just said, "Oh, Carrie, what a beautiful bouquet, thank you. And now, I'll teach you how to plant bulbs." Which she did. She did not yell at me or shame me. She took me by the hand and taught me something very important about how to tend to growing things like flowers, like relationships, like a child. And to this day, whenever I get my hands in the dirt, whenever I put a bouquet of flowers on the table, I think of her in that small kindness. Kindness is transformative. The spirit we choose to bring to our lives and our work matters. Now, the practice of being kind also extends to myself. At 21 years old, I was a lot like many of you here today. I was wise and foolish and beautiful and lost and filled with such good intentions. I was shining, but I didn't know it. My time at Goshen College was filled with classes and conversations about what it really meant to live a life of justice and compassion. I believed in the dignity and worth of others, but I did not yet believe in the depth of my own worthiness. Thomas Merton said, "It cannot be explained. There is no way of telling people that they are all walking around shining like the sun. I wish someone could have told me, 'You're all right. You're more than all right. You are shining like the sun.' But I would have to claim that for myself, as you will have to claim that for yourself. Try, whenever you can, to give yourself the same kindness and encouragement you would give a good friend. The practice of kindness is transformative in our daily interactions with others, but also how we befriend ourselves. Now, a key companion to being true and being kind is the practice of paying attention. Practice. I love the word practice because practice does not imply perfection. It implies intention. I want to be here. I want to show up for my own life, and so I keep practicing. I tell my songwriting students that to write a good song or a story, you have to be present. You have to be present. You have to pay attention. You can't write a story if you missed it because you were checking your text. We live in a world of distraction. It is easy, so easy, to not be present in our own lives. You have to choose to be present and to notice things. The saddest days of my life are the ones that I get to the end of the day and I go, dang, I think I missed it. Be aware that if you are paying attention, you will see things. It's a deal you make with the universe. I will be here, I will be present, I will notice, and because of that, you will be a different kind of person. You will probably gasp at sunsets more often. You might weep at a song or sense something extraordinary in an ordinary day. You might find yourself standing in the middle of a room grinning at something no one else saw. You will become the person in the airport who has the invisible sign on your forehead saying, "I love a good story." People will sense this and they will sit next to you and tell you all kinds of marvelous things. When you are paying attention, you will see things. And because of that, you will encounter good questions. Take notice. Pay attention to the questions, to the ones that intrigue you, the ones that keep coming back. What do I love beyond words or measure? What sustains me? What does it mean to be true? And when I pull back all the distractions of my life, what is at the heart? It's good to have goals. It's good to work toward them, but our life happens here and now. Stay present. Take notice. Keep asking good questions. I chose to follow music because I was paying attention to what my true heart was telling me. What is your true heart telling you? I write better songs because I keep showing up. What might you take to a new level if you set an intention to be more present in your life? So that's it. 3 simple, human-sized ideas. Be true, be kind, pay attention. Be true, keep checking in with your heart. It's going to take courage at times. Be kind to yourself and one another. Kindness is love on human scale. And take notice how a little kindness tips the balance toward the light. And finally, pay attention. Be here, be aware. The world is an amazing, surprising, startling, beautiful place. Don't get to the end of your day or week or life and say, dang, I missed it. Pay attention to what you love. Pay attention to what you love. Because love will always take you where you need to go. Always. Which is rarely where you expect that to be. But it will be where you need to go. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me today. My dear graduates of 2016, you are the next glorious wave. You are shining like the sun. May you know the perfect danger of a beautiful life well lived. Be true, be kind, pay attention. I'd like to close with a song of leaving, a song of gathering, and a song of return, which is all one song, called The Gathering of Spirits. Thank you again.
my truest, let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, but it's such a fine thing. There's a gathering of spirits, there's a festival of friends, and we'll take up where we left off when we all meet again. I can't explain it, I couldn't if I tried, how the only things we carry are the things we hold inside, like a day in the open, like the love we won't forget, like the laughter that we started and it hasn't died down yet. Oh, let it go, my love, my truest, let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, but it's such a fine thing. There's a gathering of spirits, there's a festival of friends, and we'll take up where we left off when we all meet again. Oh yeah, now didn't we? Don't we make it shine? Aren't we standing in the center of something rare and fine? Some glow like embers, like a light through colored glass. Some give it all in one great flame, throwing kisses as they pass. Oh, let it go, my love, my truest, let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, but it's such a fine thing. There's a gathering of spirits, there's a festival of friends, and we'll take up where we left off when we all meet again. Just east of Eden, but there's heaven in our midst, and we're never really all that far from those we love and miss. Wade out in the water, there's a glory all around, and the wise say there's 1,000 ways to kneel and kiss the ground. Oh, let it go, my love, my truest, let it sail on silver wings. Life's a twinkling, that's for certain, but it's such a fine thing. There's a gathering of spirits, there's a festival of friends, and we'll take up where we left off when we all meet again. And we'll take up where we left off when we all meet again.